Gonna hit the record button. All right, so we are on live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. My name is Brenda B. Bailey, and you are joining us for the Theta Healing Power Hour. So I always say I do this every week, same time, same place, and I know the coolest people. Not just cool, but informative, influential, and in the know. So I always encourage people to, if you like the subject, right? Because we are looking at not having to be all and end all. So with Miss Elle Ballard today. So if this sounds like a subject that you know somebody that would like, please tag people, share it, tag people. And as always, we'll be doing Theta Healing at the end of the hour. And you can always get the work, whether you're watching it live or on replay. Although we love for you to join us on the live, you can get it anytime. So just know that. So that's why it's also beneficial to share it, because people can always get the work at the end. So just a reminder, right? I've been a Theta Healing master and instructor for 14 years. And what Theta Healing does is it goes beyond the brain and the subconscious to make changes at a cellular level. And we do it, you know, what you've inherited, what you've brought into this world, what you've created. And that's why it's quick, it's easy, and it's permanent. And I have a new group called the Wealth Vibe Acceleration that we're going to be doing more work on a daily basis. So if that's something that interests you, please join. And now we're going to get to my featured guest. So let me tell you all about her. So Miss Elle Ballard was born in Kazakhstan and has been living in the US since 2002. So when she came to the US, she had to start everything from scratch while supporting her family at the same time. So she has completed her MBA in marketing and built a successful marketing career. She left the corporate world to pursue her passion of impacting and helping people realize their true potential. So Elle is the founder of the Woman of the World Network. She is a John Maxwell team leadership coach and speaker, a professional network marketer, and a mother. So despite of all the challenges that she's faced, she's always wanted to maintain her authenticity and who she is, which you will discover that when we start chatting. And this is the core reason for her creating the Woman of the World Network. So just to let you know, the Women of the World Network is a multicultural community that welcomes women from all walks of life in every country on the globe. Diversity. So this is where women from every woman in the world can come to grow, provide support, receive guidance, and share knowledge while drawing upon their personal strengths, values, femininity, and authenticity. So her community is structured around three main pillars: diversity, personal growth, and business growth. So that is Miss Elle. So she's taking a quick drink.
Thank you.
Gotcha. So thank you so much for joining us, Elle.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for having me. Thank you for that sweet introduction.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, I am also a member of the Women of the World Network, and it is really lovely. It feels like you are, which we are doing that anyways, but you're meeting people who have a background from areas of the world that I'm not familiar with. And it's just really neat. It's really cool. And of course, women coming together is always lovely, especially, and I often say, there are a lot of networking groups out there. What this is going to allow you to do is to meet Elle. Because I always say you have to vet the groups that you're in, and you do that by knowing the founder. And that will tell you everything about the group. Would you agree with me, Elle?
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
So tell us more. What else do we need to know about you that I didn't already get to share?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today. Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure. It's my honor to be here with the beautiful Brenda here with her absolutely amazing topic of theta healing. I have never done it before, but you know, it's amazing, and I know she's changing a lot of lives with it. But thank you for having me. My name is Elle, just like Brenda said, and I am absolutely excited, and I am absolutely passionate about, you know, uniting ladies and empowering ladies. And you pretty much said it all. Yeah, the main reason for me was to really, in creating Women of the World Network, was really to unite ladies and give them that platform where they can come in and share, coming from the place of their uniqueness, of their authenticity. And it's that concept of a new woman that I want to bring through with Women of the World Network. The new woman being, you know, confident in herself, in her abilities. She's independent, you know, financially, spiritually, however she wants it. She's, you know, she's beautiful, or whatever she looks like, just the way she wants to look. Her family, her relationship life. And that's why we kind of do it from different angles, because to me, a concept of a new woman is all different angles combined, but she's completely fulfilled with all different areas of her life. And that's what a kind of the core idea behind that.
Well, you know, I feel like that, especially here in the US, we have networking groups who want to expand outside of the US, and it's always done very minimally, but we're a melting pot here in the US. We are
Mhm.
multicultural here. And
Absolutely.
I think what ends up happening, especially as, because my family hasn't been here in the US that long. I always say I'm second generation on one side and third generation on the other. You know, I don't have, what is it, the blue papers from the Mayflower. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So I feel like what ends up happening, especially for those of us who haven't been here that long, is that we end up staying within our communities, which really limits us because that's not why we came here to begin with. It was to have the freedom and to expand because that's what's possible here in the United States, or what we would like to, or it may be an illusion or what we would like to believe or whatever, but it's like what we feel like is possible here.
That is so true. That is so true. That's another part. That's another huge part of it. And you know, that double advantage that I like to talk about, double advantage, being able to think not only for your family or your background, where you're from, but also in that new, for that new environment that you're in. And that's what I've noticed. A lot of the amazing ladies here, they come in here, but they stick in their communities. And there's nothing wrong to maintain that cultural beliefs. I mean, I teach my daughters to always remember where they're from. That is important, of course. But there is another side of it where, you know, unless you open up and expand and you really utilize the opportunities that we have here in this amazing country, you know, and use them all, that's what I kind of noticed. And that's another side of that. Yeah. And I think that when we truly master that double advantage, that's where it's beautiful. Because then we can truly meet our potential, do whatever we want to do, and all that good stuff.
So, Elle, you have a window open that's pinging, just so you know. I'm not sure what it is, or maybe Facebook, it may be something. So I keep hearing a ping, and I thought maybe it was me, but
Oh,
then I closed it and I was like, oh, we're pinging. So just so
yeah.
we, I want to be able to stay focused on her. You know, this is the thing. I think in this day and age, especially, we are so much more forgiving, and I don't know, forgiving is not the right word, scratch that, accepting of people from other cultures and other countries. And I think it's because of organizations like Elle that allow us to be able to see the gifts that all get brought in from all of our cultures. You know, when my parent, you know, when my grandparents came, or, you know, there was a lot of like, well, you don't have to talk about where you're from. And to me, that was such a disservice. Of course, that's a generational thing, and that's not what's going on now. Of course, with social media and the internet, we're so much more savvy, you know, as far as internationally. And so, things are different. And so that's why it's just a beautiful opportunity to belong to an organization that supports and promotes this. So tell us, Elle, what are the 3 keys to successfully cross-cultural communication, to be able to communicate cross-culturally?
It's such an interesting topic because it's when it comes to cross-cultural communications, there are so many things that we have different, or we brought up differently. And I think one key is being aware. Like, awareness is huge. Being aware that the other culture has different everything from the gestures, the body movement. Some cultures, you have to take shoes off, right, when you come into the house, this kind of thing. So just being aware how they communicate, how they face conflict situations, because different cultures, they see conflict differently. Those kind of things. I think being aware is one key. Number 2, I think, is avoiding stereotyping. So not stereotyping, not thinking, like, I give you an example. So I grew up, I was born in Soviet Union, USSR, and my native language is Russian. So when I mentioned Russia, when I just came here, stereotype is, people right away, they think Siberia, and they think big hats, big warm hats, and bears or fur coats. So, I mean, it's not a wrong stereotype, but you know what I mean? That people jump into
Being
that.
from Texas, I get this, Elle. Believe me. I understand because people think that I have a horse and a cowboy hat and horses. And what they don't realize is that 4 of the top 8 largest cities in the US are in Texas. They don't understand. We got big cities here. We're a big state with big cities.
Yeah.
And I always have to laugh because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't own a pair of cowboy boots and never have, right?
That is so true about Texas. That is so true. My sister from Europe, she was coming to Texas, and that's what she heard in Europe, in Western Europe.
Because everybody saw Dallas. Right? And from the 80s or whatever, or 70s or whatever. So everybody thought we were Dallas. Everybody was looking for J.R. Ewing and everything. So I definitely understand. So again, I know but I just had to say that because I was like, oh, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. And people want me to have a stronger accent. And when I'm really tired, I can. But the thing is that I was raised in a city. We don't have a strong accent. That's in Central Texas. So we don't have a strong influence of the East or the West. Whereas, like when you go East or West, anywhere in Texas, you'll hear the twang and the drawl and all of that, But I'm like, I was raised in a city.
It's so amazing. That's so true about Texas, because I lived there, right? So I moved here 2 years ago to California. So I lived in Houston, Texas. So I know exactly. I do have cowboy boots, but I hardly wear them. I want to get another pair though. I love those. Anyway, so
and then the 3rd key, sorry. I came up and I was like, back to the subject.
Yeah. So 3rd key is being open. So just try to be open. And in Women of the World Network, sometimes when we meet, each chair is occupied by a lady from a different culture, which I love that. It's so beautiful. And each one of them, that she comes from different countries, she comes from different accent, different beliefs, and of course that's where the challenges could be as well. And corporations that are international, I'm sure they have those kind of challenges in communication. So that's such a big field. We will definitely have a class in our academy on that. But those 3. So one is being aware, another one is don't stereotype, and the 3rd one is being open.
And I think that even, and again, I don't want to open up a can of worms in this, but even like with Black Lives Matters, I don't think that people realized the racism that they had simply because of how they were raised, right? And they maybe didn't realize that they had some racist behaviors even though they didn't consider themselves racist. And it's just, again, until we have awareness, and that's a beautiful thing about Women of the World, is that it allows you to have an awareness. We just know what we know, and we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So what's the story behind the Women of the World Network?
Yeah, so the story behind, I had a couple of times in my life where I kind of was looking who it is that I am, and going back to truly who it is that I am, what I stand for, what I want to be when I grow up. So that started with my first one after my divorce. So I kind of, you know, in my relationships, I felt that I was losing myself, and I had to leave that situation. The second time, when I moved here to a new country, so it doesn't have to be an immigrant situation, right? Or moving to a new country. It could be something like a divorce, like a relationship situation. But how many times in our lives we are faced with that?
And
I feel,
reinventing ourselves.
yeah,
For lack of a better word, reinventing ourselves.
yeah. Yeah, and then so that's kind of started with, that's how it started, and that concept of double advantage. I wanted to create this community, and we do attract three type of we have three layers. So the first one is the newcomers into the country. The second one is like myself, who are settled here, you know, almost 20 years, and the third one, ladies who born and raised in US, wanting to connect to the multicultural community. So it's kind of, you know, those are the three main tiers, but we welcome everybody, of course, who is, because we are very diverse. So, but that's kind of where it started. That's kind of how it all.
And talk about making global connections.
Yeah.
Right? Within, you know, within an organization, but outside of an organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
because again, these are not like women who are just like, you know, just have no purpose or don't have a business or aren't entrepreneur. You know what I mean? These are accomplished women
mm-hmm.
who are
Yeah.
part of the organization.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's a professional, yeah, community for sure. Yeah, it's beautiful, and so we are actually right now we're going to enter an international market, which is very exciting. And thank you for that, Brenda, comment. Exactly that. Yeah, so you get to connect to international communities. We're going to do it virtually at this point. We are entering international market, but we're going to do it virtually, of course, right now. But you know, I'm excited. I'm excited what we're doing.
I feel like that's been one of the advantages or perks of the quarantine, is that we are connecting with more people.
Mhm.
I mean, Elle and I wouldn't have met if that wouldn't have been,
Exactly.
an
That's
option.
true.
And so, and get to expand globally.
Yeah.
And I think it allows us to understand that you can still have really good connection and so much, just as much as possible, other than not being able to hug somebody at a networking event, right, is, you know, the physical touch. But everything else, there's nothing else lost. And expansive. It's expansive, not just within the US, but within the world. And that's really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I kind of touched just a little bit on the three pillars
Mm-hmm.
of Women of the World Network. So do you want to tell us more about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have every program that we do, and we are launching additional programs as part of the community. So we're launching E-Academy, which will be along our personal growth pillar. So one of our pillars is personal growth, and that's part of a new woman, right? So she's, you know, she knows what she wants, she goes after it, but she's also very personally grown woman. Like she, you know, she's aware, and so that's part of our E-Academy is part of it. We are having a class coming up on authenticity. We're going to talk about human design. I'm excited about it. And then we have masterminds that take place twice a month as well. So we have Culture Connects that take place once a month. And by the way, this coming Saturday, we have a Culture Connect. And so we take a topic and we talk about it. So this Saturday will be women in different countries and business etiquette, do's and don'ts, you know, and then last month we did women and money. So we kind of take different cultures in a topic. And so that's, all of those are part of our personal growth pillar. And then we have business growth pillar, where we support women. Majority of our members are business owners, women, ladypreneurs. I love that word. And so we do have business expos. We just had one last Saturday. We do have regular meetings where we invite speakers and we connect more and network. And then we are launching what's called e-boxes to give that more exposure to those ladies as well. And then the third pillar, of course, diversity is everything that we do is diversity is big. And like I said, like sometimes we have meetings where there is no country repeated, and I love diversity. It's beautiful thing. So those are the three pillars: personal growth, business growth, and diversity.
Well, and I always say this. I have a friend who says that if you want to know what you need to work on, right, personally, get in a relationship. And I always say, if you want to know what you need to work on, start a business. So really, personal growth is mindset, personal growth, energy healing, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it, say it, label it. It's a necessary component. And throughout history, very successful men were ones who meditated. I mean, I think that's I think it's a known fact, maybe not, that Hilton, as he was building his, empire of hotels, meditated every morning.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Like they knew not to disturb him in his office from what time to what time, because he was meditating. And this was, like in the beginning of the 21st century, right? But this was part of his success. And it's just imperative.
It is.
Because as an entrepreneur, we are our business.
Yes.
So if you want to see it expand, you have to work on yourself, which is why I love what I do for a living, because it really accelerates it, helps it, makes it easier and less work for the person themselves to have to do that. And it just correlates to more money. Yeah, I mean, I in my own 28-year career as an entrepreneur, this is what I've seen personally and professionally with my clients. So I know that for a fact. And that's why I love that it is a component of Woman of the World, because it is so necessary. So you talked about the trainings. What else is new at Women of the World Network?
So we are definitely growing, and we're looking right now for leaders in really any zip code area in the wider US. We are focused on nationally right now, even though I mentioned that we are going slowly, going to enter virtually for now as the markets, international markets. But locally here in US, if there are any lady leaders who want to kind of step up into that leadership role and, definitely give a light to her business, whatever she's doing, I'd love to talk to her. Yeah, so we are,
and Elle makes that super easy, just so y'all know. She helps with lining up the speakers. She helps with, getting things scheduled. Everything's done on the back office. So it's not like you're starting from ground zero and having to put all those components together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What else is new?
Yeah, so we are we're gonna launch a couple of new programs. So this year is, like I said, like E-Academy. So our class is very excited. I want to mention this class is coming up October 20th to November 17th. That is new. That is the first class of our part of our academy. I'm very excited. And we'll just have a 1 month class. So we'll do human design as part of it. We'll talk about human design. We'll talk about smartphone photography after we do the exercises on authenticity and developing your brand. And then next year we'll have an in-depth class, becoming a new woman, which will incorporate, it will be a longer class and it will incorporate different areas.
And so Elle, is this included in the membership, or is this an extra expense outside the membership?
Members get a discount towards that.
Nice.
Yeah, towards the classes for sure. But it's open for members and non-members.
Nice.
Mhm. So I'm excited about that. That will be, yeah, I'm excited about doing those. We're gonna have a lot of classes, and we have two ladies that come in speaking this next month in October. But then definitely collaboration. I'm huge in collaboration with others. So next, becoming a new woman, we'll have even more ladies come in and share their expertise with us. But yeah, I'm excited about that. E-boxes is also exciting. That's something that's new. E-boxes gives more light, additional light. Now again, members have discount, but that's kind of an additional light into their businesses. Sometimes ladies at the meetings, there is not enough time to connect, but we give more kind of exposure to members and non-members as well. Members get a discounted kind of offer, and it's per quarter. And so we started with e-boxes, which is like we take one business and it's going to be featured virtually. And next year we'll probably add another aspect to that part. So very exciting. What's happening.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yes. And then also Elle does a like Saturday Zoom, or not Zoom, but a Saturday live like this, but shorter, where she interviews different members of the group. And I'm actually going to be doing that like in 2 weeks. So when I know that's going to be happening, so where can they find more information about the group, Elle?
Yeah, if you go to www.womenoftheworldnetwork.com, just those 4 words, womenoftheworldnetwork.com, in the events section, there are all the events upcoming events are listed there. You can sign up for our email so that you get notified and see whatever event will work for you. Like I said, we have different formats. So some ladies love the masterminds and culture connects. For businesses, I noticed the chapter meetings are great, business expos are great. So yeah, definitely I look forward to connecting with your community as well.
And we'll make sure that the website is in the comments so that you can be able, and you can always, just look up Elle and find her. And then also, now, do you have a Facebook group, or is that just for members?
Oh no, yeah, we have Facebook group. It's open for everybody. We have Facebook group, and I can send you the links, Brenda. But it's Women of the World Network, and then we also have a Facebook page. And then we also have Instagram. We are on LinkedIn as well. There's a group, and so kind of depending on what you use, what social media you use. I kind of use those.
Absolutely, right? Because we're women, we're multitasking, we're doing all sorts of things. So, well, good. Okay. And then we will let you know. She's got an invitation for us here at the end. So we'll kind of pause a little bit, do a little work, and then come back and let you know where what her invite is for us. And I feel like when somebody invites you to something that's free, it allows you to check out a group. It allows you to understand, like I said, the environment, the flavor, the vibe, whatever you want to say, the energy, whatever that word is for you, and understand, like, is this a fit for me? Do I want to consider this? Elle, if somebody were not a member but wanted to consider and wanted to attend a meeting, what's an option for people? How is that possible?
Yeah, they can definitely attend any meeting, even if it's a member meeting, but if they wanted to get a taste for the mastermind meeting, because for members, we do mastermind and accountability, which will take place this Friday. They can definitely join and get a taste for it. Any meeting is open for guests.
Nice. See, so you get to check it out. As you say, try it before you buy it. So, and it's a very inexpensive opportunity. And again, there are a lot of networking groups out there. It depends on what is your focus. What do you want? But I love ones that expand our minds and expand our opportunities. And that's what's possible when you network multiculturally within the US for right now, but it gets to expand out. Because again, when we're networking, you never know who knows, somebody someplace else. Like I'll just put this out there. When we clear a lot of our beliefs on a cellular level, what ends up happening is that we really have to pay attention to what we think about because we draw it in. So one of the things that I've done is also just looked at like where are the best places for me to live astrologically. It's called astrocartography. And one of the places that I've been very drawn to, and it makes sense because it's one of the like places for me, is New Zealand. So all of a sudden, it's something that's been on my mind, like New Zealand. And of course, do I want to travel there right now? No. But again, it's one of those things that I'm like, it is a place that I do want to visit. It is a place that I'd like to make connection.
Beautiful.
So like after I became aware of this, like somebody joined my group who had been living in New Zealand and had come back to the States last year. So she was saying, I think I would like to host you over there. I was like laughing. And then in another networking group that I'm in, somebody said, oh, you need to connect with so-and-so. And I did. Well, we had a hard time figuring out times because we were trying to convert. And then I realized it's because she lives in New Zealand.
Oh, wow. I love it.
And then there was another thing that happened with New Zealand. And I was just like, oh, I had a client whose family lives in New Zealand.
Wow,
and I was just like, all of a sudden you start to see that and what we're thinking. And so, and again, this is what ends up happening when you actually intentionally put yourselves in situations where people are from different different parts of the world. I think at times we really limit ourselves. So we're going to do a little work around that, right? So again, back to Theta healing. As I said, it bypasses the conscious and subconscious mind, which is what makes it so fast, easy, and painless and permanent. And yes, it's possible to have all of those at once. So whenever I work with a new client or student, I always make sure that they have 3 basic beliefs in place. So again, no work gets done unless you verbally say yes. So Elle's going to get to cue that for us here as we do the work here. So the 3 basic beliefs are, I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. So if you would like those, and again, like I said, if you're watching the replay, all you have to do is say yes, and you'll get this work. All you have to do is say yes out loud. Would you like those, Elle?
Yes.
So we're looking at, again, challenges that women have, not just here in the US, right? But everywhere. And it's, well, one, what I want to do, because we're talking about women of the world, is I want to change what prevents us from being open and aware of other cultures. I want to change what prevents us from wanting to connect with other cultures. And also want to change what prevents us from understanding what the advantages are. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, one of the new classes, because again, the Theta Healing Institute always, like I signed a contract, right? An agreement that I would never, ever, 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 ever teach classes virtually. But with the pandemic, for the first time in 20 years, we're allowed to do that. And we were allowed to do it with like the 3 basic classes. There's a basic, a DNA, an advanced DNA, and a dig deeper, which allows you to be able to do, practice and learn more about perfecting your technique and being able to implement it in what you do in your day-to-day life and in your business. But also they've added 3 more classes, which 2 of them I'm a certified teacher in, so I'll be able to offer it. And one of them is world relations, which I took that class as a practitioner, as a student 10 years ago. Or it's 11 now, 11 years ago. Fascinating. And it really changes your life because we inherit so many prejudices against other cultures that we don't even realize. And some of the things, because you muscle test, we use kinesiology to discover what our beliefs are. So it was fascinating to see the cultures and religions that I needed to shift, that I didn't even know what they were. Like I had never heard of them.
Wow.
That's the thing, is that we just don't understand energetically, vibrationally, what we've got held in our field of what we've inherited. And also group consciousness as well. We just are not aware of it. And it has always been one of my most favorite classes because it really is an expansion and what is available out there and what maybe I'm preventing that I had no idea. So I'm really excited to be able to, again, you have to take the other 3 classes before you can, because that one's considered an upper level class. And I think it's so interesting. It's one of the classes that they decided to bring on, again, with all the Zooming that we're doing, right? All the video conferencing that we're doing is just, I love that. So I'm excited for that as well, because it's a great, because this is the thing, we need to expand our mind. So I want to change what obligates us. And that means that we don't have a choice. When we have an obligation, it means we don't have a choice. I want to change what obligates us to play small. Because that's when we're not being open to what's available to us culturally, globally, we're limiting ourselves. And so we also want to change what prevents us from expanding ourselves and our businesses. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
And let's also change that. And this is the thing, right? And Elle is doing a great example of this. You don't have to say yes out loud, really loud. So like if you're at a coffee shop or something, or, the kids are around or whatever, and they're at school virtually, you don't have to yell it. All you have to do is just say yes, and you'll get it. But it has to be done out loud. Doesn't matter the volume, it just has to be done out loud. So we want to change what prevents us, we want to change what obligates us to expand at the expense of ourselves. We also want to change what prevents us, or that we're the only ones that can do everything, right? Because as women, we're multitaskers, and then we don't want to inconvenience anybody. We don't want to, or we just know it's easier for us to just do it ourselves. But that's not a way to expand your network, to expand your business, to expand your opportunities and your reach. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud. Because the thing that's really, like some of y'all are like, well, why would I want to join a group that's global? I can barely handle what I'm doing here in my own city, in my own country, right? Again, we want to, take a few things so that you don't have to make it, so that it doesn't limit you and it doesn't feel like that you're doing it all yourselves. And so we also want to, I think relocation, moving to a new country,
Mhm.
it's a bit traumatic, even though if it's by our choice. And for some people, especially if you were children, it wasn't by your choice. And not that it was like, oh, but again, it's not like, it's usually like your parents made the decision and you were here, right? So we want to change the trauma around it. Even if you just like change cities, right? But changing countries, moving, and starting new. So we want to change what prevents us from making the most of starting new. I think that's what it is. That's what we're going to change. And also to forgive ourselves for maybe doing it kicking and screaming, or forgive whoever, like we were part of it while we were kicking and screaming, whoever that is. So if you would like that, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
And then let's also change what prevents us from making the most of a new situation, right? So we want to try new things. We want to meet, if you move, you want to go to new restaurants, right? I was just actually just saying, I made an Indian dish a couple of days ago. I have missed going to my Indian restaurant. And somebody was like, oh, yeah, I like to go there occasionally. I'm like, oh, no, I was there like once or twice a month, if not more. I mean, I miss it. But it's a buffet and it's inside and there's no outdoor seat. I mean, it's not good right now to be able to go. But I was like, man, I can't believe I haven't had Indian food in 6 months. And so I made it myself. And I was like, man. And that was the big thing. When I was growing up, my dad would always say, just try it, right? As far as food, he wanted us to be very adventurous. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat it, but don't say no. And so he would make us try different things, different foods. And so my sister and I love wide varieties of food, different types and everything, because when people are like, and again, I live in an area, I'm from a state where there are a lot of meat and potato kind of folk, right? And I get it, and that's fine. I got nothing against it, but it makes me sad for you because it's like, oh, you don't know what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to change what prevents us from being open to other cultures. We also want to change what prevents us from seeing what's available and what's new for us where we are. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
Because even though I know what our topic was, I promise you that everything we just did goes with the topic and having it all. Because these are things that hold us back. That again, because I've been doing this for 14 years, it's like that's the component that's here. That's what will shift that needs to happen. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So Elle, tell us about the invite that you have for the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much for that exercise, Brenda. It's I'm looking forward to more of those, to more of that. So yeah, I would love to invite the audience to the Culture Connect meeting that we have this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central. 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about culture. And this is one of those meetings that I mentioned earlier, where we take one culture and a topic, and then we discuss what we grew up with. When it comes to business. So this particular Saturday will be business etiquette, do's and don'ts in different cultures. It's an open kind of conversation meeting. We just discuss. But that's a great way, to connect, get to meet different ladies, to further kind of build that trust. And because to do that, to build business, and people when people buy from you, when they trust you, they know you, right? So we know that. So that's kind of part of the cultural, the educational, but it's also, of course, part of the whole goal of business growth and development, connection, relationship building, but also educating ourselves. If you cannot make Saturday, we have a Q&A meeting next week. On Tuesday, I believe, about our community. And during our meetings, normally we don't have time to do it. I tried to deactivate those. It's still beeping, I hear it. So during our regular meetings, we don't have time to really connect or ask questions, because it just goes so fast. And so we do have those Q&A meetings as well, where we talk about our community in depth. You can ask questions. You, just like Brenda was saying, get a feel for it. But thank you so much, Brenda, for having me. Thank you so much for introducing your audience to Women of the World Network. I'd love to meet you.
And Elle will be sharing this with her audience as well, because then it allows them to know better about the organization, or say, oh, watch this. Elle explained this like beautifully. She looks beautiful. She explained it beautifully. And that gal that interviewed her weren't too bad either. So, again, it just allows people to understand. And there may be some members who are like, I didn't know that was available, because that kind of is what happens, right? And so it works out super well. And so just a couple of things, like I have a new Facebook group. It's called Wealth Vibe Acceleration. The link is in the post. It's brand new. We're just getting people in. But if you've liked the Theta healing part of this, right? We'll be doing some things, a couple of days a week. We want to build a community of people who are entrepreneurs, business owners, open, want to make more money. But again, how we do anything is how we do everything. So not only is it going to help you with money and wealth and income and abundance, it's going to help you in your relationships. It's going to help you in your health, because that's just what happens. There's reasons that are core that affect everything. So, and again, it'll be little snippets. It won't be, this is an interview, right? And this is us doing some work and letting you meet somebody new and have a little flavor of Theta healing. So it's much shorter. And, and we just want to be able to support people as well with your life and your business, especially. So Wealth Vibe Acceleration. I also have a free MP3. It's a meditation. We call it Draw Income to You Meditation. And it's 1 minute. So I encourage people to get it, because if you will be consistent, if you'll be committed to it for 30 days and give me 2 minutes of your life every day, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, I promise you, I hear it all the time, you're going to see, hear, and feel a big difference, because it can be just that easy. So, and then there are other, again, how to connect with me, where, I'm all over social media too, like Elle and Women of the World. So however you would like to connect. And I always tell people, I have a chat with Brenda B, which puts you on my scheduler. If you want to know about Elle, you want to know about Women of the World, get a little perspective from me, want to know about Theta healing, my upcoming class in October, my wealth, vibe acceleration group, whatever. I often say, again, you want to find out about a session with me, or you want to find out, chat with me, schedule a 30-minute chat. Because if I'm not, or if Theta healing's not the deal, or if you're looking for something else, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years. I know lots of people. So I love connecting people. I'm not attached to, if you're calling or if we're talking, it has to be about me, right? Or what I do. So that is available to you as well. So I want to support you in your growth and whatever that looks like. And if it's not with me, I know somebody. So I just want to let you know that as well. We've done really well. Is there anything else, Elle, that you want to add or any?
Yeah, thank you so much, Brenda, for having me. I think this was very productive. This was amazing. I just have such a great feeling about it. The Theta healing exercise was great. So thank you so much for having me today, introducing Women of the World Network. And I just wanna let ladies know that just if you did not find that what you want to do or what you after, keep looking for that, because I think it's so fulfilling. It's so amazing when you know you are moving in the right direction, and when you are in complete harmony with your soul desires, with your, with everything that's happened in your life, 100%. And it's just everything around you becomes, you just look at things differently. So I just want to close with that. Whatever it is, maybe it's Theta healing exercise for you. There are so many techniques today. Find that, and I wish you all the best. And yes, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, Elle. And just a reminder, next week we are same time, same place, right? It's every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. My featured guest will be Whitney McDuff with How to Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. So I love my guests. They're like great. And we get such nuggets, such juicy stuff to be able to do. So just a reminder, we'll see you same time, same place. And as always, like it, share it, tag it. We always appreciate that, because who do you know that would benefit from this information that you just got or the work that was done? So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Thank you.